My heart is in.
Alright, what's going on, y'all? This is BoxingWave. Now, what I don't want to happen here is Brandon Rios' performance to get overshadowed by Mike Alvarado's lack of preparation for this fight. Okay, because that's not fair. You know, a lot of people, you know, leading up to this fight, you know, I did a prediction video, and I picked Brandon Rios to win. I thought Brandon Rios was going to stop him. And a lot of people weren't like hyped about this fight, just based on the feedback that I've been getting and just seeing people on social media talking about the fight. A lot of people weren't excited for the fight like that, because not because of the first two fights weren't good. It's just that these guys are coming off some losses, you know. I mean, I know Brandon Rios won his last fight, but that was by disqualification, okay? It's not fair for him because he treated this like a do or die fight. Leading up to this fight, in interviews, he was saying things like he might consider retirement if he loses this fight. Okay, we all know he lost a rematch to Alvarado. He lost to Manny Pacquiao. I felt he was losing Diego Chavez fight, even though it was close. I felt that he was losing a fight, but maybe by a round or two. But Chavez got disqualified in that fight. You know, and he was considering retirement, and I felt like he treated this fight like a do or die fight, like this is gonna be the last fight in his career, and it showed. You know, he looked very sharp. He looked good. He looked like he was in good shape. This is the best Brandon Rios I've ever seen. You know, definitely, maybe not ever, because I mean he was fighting this way before he moved up, but this is the best I've seen him at 140 or 147 by far. You know, if you're gonna be a slugger, this is the way you should fight. You know, you can be a slugger and still be good defensively. You could still have good timing. You could still have good angles, good positioning in a fight. You know, you still could be precise. You don't have to be a slugger where you're just getting punched in the face and you're taking everything that's coming at you. You know, you don't have to be that way. You can fight exactly like the way that he performed last night. Okay, even in the first round, when he was fighting mainly mid-range on the outside, he looked like a better overall boxer. People said going into this fight, including myself, that Alvarado was the better boxer between the two. He used the lateral movement in the second fight to win that second fight, to win the rematch, okay? He didn't stand in front of Rios the entire time. But in this fight here, it's no point of even ever watching the first two fights, because this fight was so different. Rios looked better than Mike Alvarado ever has. Like, even if he fought Alvarado the same way in this fight, like the way he was in this fight, he wouldn't won the fight. You know, he separated the skill set between these two. It's never going to be debatable ever again between who's better between these two. You know, it's just, he destroyed Mike Alvarado. And I know Mike Alvarado probably didn't prepare for the fight. He probably wasn't in shape. He has a lot of things going on, like you know, his legal issues, you know, his gun charge and everything outside of the ring. But Mike Alvarado, the worst Mike Alvarado, fought the best Brandon Rios. Brandon Rios prepared for this fight, and not for nothing, but I'm not saying that he's a top welterweight or anything like that. Like, I'm not trying to overrate him, but he would be a tough fight for anyone at the welterweight division if he performed like this, if he prepared like this every single fight. You know, I'm not even a big Brandon Rios fan. I'm not even trying to, you know, gas him up, because I'm not a big fan of his. But he came prepared this fight, and you know, I actually did a video not too long ago, maybe a week or two ago, about him fighting Tim Bradley. Or Tim Bradley fighting the winner of Rios and Alvarado 3. And, you know, I didn't think that was a good fight. You know, I didn't see the point of this fight. I felt like whoever wins between Rios and Alvarado, they always pick the winner to fight one of the top welterweights, and then they always lose. You know, I said before that I felt that these two were like expendables. You know, just throw them in there as a stay busy but a good name you know, like a tune-up fight for one of the top welterweights on Top Rank. But with a good name, even though they don't really have the skills to compete with the top welterweights. But after seeing this performance by Brandon Rios, if he can prepare like this every single fight, he could be it could be a good match. I mean, Brandon Rios dominated Alvarado way better than Paratnikov did. All right, it wasn't even close. All right, and I know Alvarado didn't lose to Marquez at that point. He didn't lose to he didn't fight Paratnikov yet. He didn't fight Marquez yet. You know, I understand that, but you know, you can't take away from Brandon. I keep getting the names mixed up. You can't take away from Brandon Rios' performance in this fight. It's not fair to him. You know, Robert Garcia, good trainer. I mean, he's transforming a lot of these fighters. As far as him quitting, I mean, listen, if there wasn't no low blow in the second round, I think the fight could have been over in the second round, honestly. You know, the first round, Brandon Rios was just beating him on the outside, mid-range, and in the second round, that's when he started getting on the inside. The combinations that he was throwing, the uppercuts, it was insane. The body punches, you know, it was volume, it was precise volume. I was very impressed with Brandon Rios. All the way around, you know, and he just kept positioning himself and looking for opening, you know, good spots, and I was very impressed. You know, for an inside fighter, that's the way you should fight, in my opinion. You know, and using defense, you know, using the upper body movement, making Alvarado miss. It was good. You know, I liked it. Like I said, if it wasn't for the low blow in the second round, that took up like a good 40 minutes or 40 seconds or so. I think this fight could have been stopped in the second round. I mean, he was destroying him. I would have stopped the fight. I thought the fight could have been stopped in the second or third round, in my opinion. Alvarado was cut and bleeding even after the first round. And Rios wasn't even on the inside in the first round. Okay? As far as him quitting, I mean, he quit the fight. I mean, he was getting destroyed. I mean, why continue? You know, why continue? He know he didn't prepare. He said it in the end of the fight. He said he quit at the end. Yeah, I watched the fight last night, but I was out watching it publicly, so I wanted to wait until I got home and watch the fight again, because I wanted to hear what was said in the corners. You know, the dude quit. He clearly quit. There's no excuses. You know he didn't prepare for the fight. You know, at least he admitted to it. You know, he didn't prepare. All right, he wasn't ready. So, you know, so much for him. You know, I really don't know what's gonna happen with Mike Alvarado at this point. You know, I just don't know where he fits. At the most, he's just a journeyman at this point. He's gonna have to start from the bottom. You know, Brandon Rios fighting Tim Bradley. You know, if he can come and fight, like, if he could come well prepared like he did this fight, he could give Tim Bradley a good fight. You know, I would have never thought Bradley was going to lose to Diego Chavez or have a draw with him. You know, even though I thought Bradley won the fight, I didn't think he looked impressive in the fight. You never know. You know, I think Brandon Rios could do better than Diego Chavez did in that fight. You know, if he comes 100%, I mean. But I didn't want to fight that. I didn't want to see the fight because even Joel Diaz, Tim Bradley trainer, was like, man, Tim Bradley could beat Mike Alvarado and Brandon Rios in the same night. You know, comments like that, it's like, there's some truth to that. It could be, you know. I mean, leading up to this performance, I wouldn't be surprised if Tim Bradley beat the both of them in the same night. You know? But if Brandon Rios was to come 100% like he did last night, then it could be a good fight. You know, he wants to fight Victor Ortiz. There's some bad blood between those two, some personal issues between Ortiz and Robert Garcia and Brandon Rios. So, you know, let that fight go down. Me personally, I don't think Victor Ortiz is ready. And I think he needs a couple of fights before we even consider him fighting any top welterweight right about now. Any top 20 welterweight. But anyway, you know, I thought it was a good fight, and people need to give credit from Brandon Rios. I know he fought a guy that wasn't all, you know, fully prepared, and a guy that's not even a top welterweight, but still his performance, just compare how he looked in this fight against every other fight that he's been in. You know, look at his recent fights. Even go back and look at Rios Alvarado 1. Look at Rios in that fight and look at him in this fight. You see the transition. He looked much better in this fight. All right, so anyway, I got some more videos to do, so be on the lookout for those. All right, take care.